Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're doing something a bit different. We're diving into a highly collaborative gaming session.
That's right. We're looking to extract tactical knowledge, definitely some high-stakes humor, and some really unexpected insights, actually.
Yeah, the source material, it's this unique mix of, intense battlefield action, but also these bizarre, almost mundane conversations happening at the same time.
Exactly. So our mission today is to kind of give you the shortcut to understanding both sides of that coin, the virtual battlefield and the real-world stuff they were juggling.
Okay, let's jump right in. The first big objective, tracking down a hard bounty. That's the game's term for a really tough mission.
Right, a high-stakes target. This one was named Connor Coldwater, also known pretty menacingly as Cold Hands of Death.
And they had to find him in the taxi graveyard region of Foggy Bottom. Sounds charming.
Yeah, exactly. But it wasn't just about him. They were multitasking.
Ah, efficiency. What else was on the agenda?
They were also working on the Halloween 25 event Day 4 project, which meant they needed to take out 4 named hyenas.
Okay, Hyena's one of the main enemy factions, right? Aggressive bunch.
Yep. And the goal was to get 2 more pieces of the Sinister Shade cosmetic gear set. So, optimizing. Take down the bounty, get the spooky gear.
Makes sense. Kill 2 birds, or rather 1 bounty and 4 hyenas with 1 stone. Get that vampire juice trophy too, I see noted here.
Gotta get the trophy.
All right, let's talk gear. Because this setup sounds interesting. Extreme range focus.
Oh, yeah. One player specifically mentioned running 2 snipers, including the Shroud rifle, which apparently has this default 12x overscope. Pretty powerful.
Okay, wait. 2 snipers in a place like Foggy Bottom, which can get really close quarters. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. How'd they manage that?
Well, that's the thing. It points to incredible trust in the team. You're basically useless up close with that loadout.
So total reliance on your teammates for protection.
Exactly. It underlines that high-stakes coordinated play. But it also leads to some funny moments, obviously.
Yeah, the banter seems top-notch. Not just dry call-outs, but really specific digs at the enemies.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite was spotting a bad guy and someone just casually goes, "You look particularly ugly today."
Huh. Yeah, it definitely shows how they cope with the stress, right? Just finding humor in it.
Totally. But the peak of that, for me, has to be the whole Warhound manager anecdote.
Oh, yes. Okay, so they're fighting these the robot dogs, heavily armored.
Right, and apparently there's a glitch where sometimes they stand up on 2 legs and just fall downstairs.
Which is, frustrating in-game. But instead of just complaining, they invented this whole corporate backstory for it.
This is brilliant. So one player pretends to be the manager.
Yep, the manager, explaining the glitch away, saying something like, oh, that's just legacy code from some bipedal movement experiments we did early last year.
That is just perfect. Turning a game bug into relatable office incompetence. I love it.
It's a great coping mechanism. So once they dealt with Coldwater, the focus snapped right onto the hyena hunt for the Halloween stuff.
Yeah, the notes say the decision to jump into a classified off for that was super quick. Yep, done, good, go.
No time to waste when cosmetics are on the line, apparently.
Okay, so moving into Section 2. The action itself, even just describing how characters moved, sounds hilarious.
How so?
Well, one comment was, someone looked like they climbed up my shoulders on my backpack. Just conjures this weird image.
Yeah. And another one was described as a very sneaky scarecrow.
Which probably ties into the customization, right? Someone was actually wearing a Halloween mask and a cowboy hat.
Apparently. And leaning heavily on what they called their hateful electric gun for close encounters. It's this great visual mashup.
Wild West meets Spooky Apocalypse. Love it.
Yeah.
But the craziest action moment wasn't planned at all, was it? The grenade thing.
Oh, man. The epic grenade shot. Yeah, that was unexpected brilliance.
So set the scene. Player throws a grenade towards an enemy who has a shield up. Standard tactic.
Right. But before the grenade even gets there, another player does the impossible.
Shoots the grenade. Midair.
Exactly. Shoots it right in front of the shielded enemy. Boom. Instant detonation.
Bypasses the shield entirely. Takes out multiple bad guys. That's, wow.
Even if it was accidental, that's some next level, almost physics-bending coordination.
The reaction quota was just perfect. Holy heck. I don't believe that happened.
You really couldn't script that better. It's like turning a regular grenade into an instant proximity mine. Just amazing.
And speaking of just overwhelming force, there was a description of one player's firing style. Not exactly precise.
Huh. No, described as a bullet cloud or sometimes a swarm.
A bullet cloud. That just sounds terrifying if you're on the receiving end. Just
Yeah.
sheer volume of fire.
Absolutely, just suppression through, well, cloud of bullets.
So we've got this intense tactical situation, right?
Mm.
Taking down hard targets, robotic dogs, pulling off miracle shots.
Yeah, high pressure, high skill required.
But then the conversation apparently just veers off completely into something totally different. Real-world problem.
That's what happens in these groups, right? The game is the backdrop, but life happens. And the first tangent was cars, or lack thereof.
Right. Favorite vehicle? First answer. The one that runs. Practical.
Very practical.
Yeah.
But then when pushed for something maybe less practical, but street legal,
The answer escalated quickly. A tank.
specifically a Panzer.
Which then naturally led to this story about an actual tank involved in a police chase on a highway.
Yeah, incredible story. And the detail that gets me is the police apparently had to call the armory to ask if the massive howitzer on the tank was loaded.
Can you imagine being the dispatcher taking that call? Repeat that. Is the howitzer loaded?
Yeah.
That's a traffic stop you don't forget.
Definitely a unique policing challenge. But okay, connecting that kind of real-world absurdity to maybe the biggest economic lesson from these sources, we need to talk about thread.
Ah, yes, the great embroidery thread saga. This was genuinely fascinating, like a real aha moment about global trade tucked into a gaming session.
It really was. So the basic problem, they needed very specific color-matched embroidery thread for company uniforms, for the patches.
Okay, simple enough, you'd think.
Except the main manufacturer overseas would only use their own thread, so if they wanted everything to match perfectly,
They had to get that exact same thread themselves.
bingo. And that's where modern logistics just slams the door shut. Trying to import small amounts of specialized manufacturing materials like that directly from China to the U.S.
Tariffs, customs codes, regulations, it makes it ridiculously expensive.
Prohibitively expensive for a small batch. So
Right.
the workaround they figured out was, well, it was something else.
An international relay race for thread.
Pretty much. They sourced it via a contact in China, paid using WeChat, a mobile payment app, then shipped it first to another contact in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong being the key there. A different customs zone, fewer tariffs.
Exactly. And then that contact forwarded the little box of thread bobbins to the U.S. Just pure logistical gymnastics.
All that effort just for some thread. But the cost part is what really blew my mind.
Right. Get this. 15 bobbins of this apparently high-quality specialized thread cost them only $15 from the stores in China.
$15. That's $1 a bobbin.
$1 per bobbin, plus maybe $55 for all that complicated shipping and handling through Hong Kong.
Okay, so maybe around $70 total for 15 bobbins landed. How does that compare?
Well, you compare that to buying a similar high-end Italian embroidery thread, like Madeira brand, domestically. That stuff costs $20 to $30 per bobbin.
Hey, $20 to $30
Nuts.
versus $1? That's easily a 30x price difference.
Massive. Absolutely massive. And that little spool of thread tells you so much about global economics.
It really highlights the struggle, doesn't it?
Mm.
How can specialized manufacturers here even compete on price when the raw material cost difference is that stark?
It's incredibly difficult, and that price gap is before you even factor in higher labor costs or operational expenses domestically. It's a fundamental challenge built into the supply chain.
Wow, an incredible insight hidden in the conversation during a firefight. Okay, before we get back to the game mission, there was also a quick, passionate tangent about baseball.
Ah, yes. The World Series, apparently. Some recent 18-inning marathon games involving the Blue Jays had them fired up.
18 innings. But the specific moment they focused on was this rookie pitcher.
Trey Savage, yeah, a real posterizing moment, as they called it.
He struck out the superstar, Ohtani.
And not just struck him out so dramatically that Ohtani actually dropped to one knee and his helmet fell off.
Oof, that's rough for the superstar. Pure dominance from the rookie.
And the best part, the source mentioned the rookie pitcher, Savage, had to walk off the mound with his glove covering his face because he was trying so hard not to grin.
Haha, that's fantastic. Just pure sports drama right there.
Okay, but back to the mission in D.C. Section 4 here confirms they did wrap up the tactical goals.
Right. Halloween projects completed. They got the Sinister Shade shirt, pants, and that all-important Vampire Juice trophy. Success.
Check.
Huh.
So, next objective, prepping for something called Scout 8, which involved clearing and then stocking up a control point.
Metro Ruins control point. And stocking it wasn't trivial, required donating 150 items. That's a lot of in-game resources.
Yeah, a big logistical task within the game itself. Good thing they had that sense of humor, because apparently the Metro Ruins operation didn't go smoothly.
Oh, no. What happened?
Well, first, the Scarecrow joke came back. After the player in the Scarecrow outfit got revived,
Let me guess.
he apparently announced, "Someone finally found my organs through all the straw. I've only got a couple, but now it's running on stuffing."
Running on stuffing. Okay, they definitely needed that humor, because the actual control point fight sounds like it fell apart.
It kind of did. The civilian leader figure kept getting killed, and worse, the objective officer the NPC needed to actually capture the point.
Yeah. He just kept failing to get into the capture zone. Like, he wouldn't do his job under fire.
Oh, that's frustrating. So you clear the whole area, but you can't finish the objective because the AI won't cooperate.
Exactly. They started calling it a public execution or a hostage situation because this one essential NPC was just stuck, preventing them from winning.
Classic gaming pain. Despite all that chaos, though, the loot haul was pretty good.
Seems so. Notes mention finding an exotic item that's the top-tier rare gear and getting multiple caches from the Halloween event. Up to 4 per event activity, apparently.
Nice. So, okay, let's synthesize this. This deep dive pulled insights from really 2 completely different kinds of battlefields.
Definitely. On one hand, you've got the virtual one, intense firefights in ruined DC, fighting hyenas, Black Tusk, beating precision, teamwork, good gear.
And a healthy dose of humor to deal with warhounds falling downstairs.
Absolutely. And then on the other hand, you have this incredibly detailed glimpse into the real-world battlefield of international logistics. The tariffs, the supply chains, the sheer effort and complexity involved in just getting a spool of thread across the globe affordably.
Yeah. So we talked about the hard bounty, Connor Coldwater,
Yeah.
in the game.
Tough fight, required coordination.
But when you consider the months of planning, that whole complex China to Hong Kong to U.S. relay, that staggering 30 times cost difference.
Which one was the real hard bounty here?
That's the question, isn't it? Coordinating a firefight in Foggy Bottom or figuring out how to beat the global commerce system for cheap thread.
Maybe those unseen logistical fights. Maybe they're the toughest ones of all. Something to think about.
Definitely gives you perspective when you look at a made-in label. There's often a whole story there.
Indeed. We'll leave you with that thought. See you next time on The Deep Dive.